Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Cloud Conversations once again. And once again, I am in the company of my very good friend, Azure McFarlane. It's great to be with you again. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. I had my nap, my lunch. I'm good. I'm fueled up.
Amazing. I wish I'd had a nap, but I've not had time for one. So we're recording late at night this time for
Mhm.
me in the UK. So I'll be going to bed after this recording. But we've
Sorry
got
to
it.
keep you up late.
Hey, it's all good. It's all good. I'm used to this. I've been doing this sort of thing recently quite a bit, so it's no different. But yeah, we've got quite a worldwide feel going on, haven't we? We've got the me in the UK, Azure, you're in the US, and why don't you introduce our wonderful guest who's in
Yes,
New Zealand?
we have the incredible Elaiza Benitez joining us from
Hey.
Wellington, New Zealand. Hey, girl, how you doing, boo?
Hi, I'm good. So over here it's the morning. It's not
Yeah.
evening. So I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
No. It's fine. We were trying to make it so it was convenient for you as the guest to be on here, and we're like, oh,
Absolutely.
Oh, thank you.
spanning
Thank
three
you.
continents. I think you said Ami Diamond was the other like three continent show, perhaps, but this is the
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
That's right, that's right. We've had a few of these now, and it's so cool. I love how this show brings people from all over the world together, and we can have these little chats. And our last guest, who was on earlier today, we were recording the previous episode, just
Aliens
said
have
it's just like
spoken.
a fireside chat, and it really is. So
Oh, well,
Yeah.
thanks for
It's
having me. Thanks for having
Yeah,
me.
thanks for saying yes. I was really excited. We've got like we go out and we ask different people like if they want to be on the show. And I was like, it's my turn to bring the power platform to Cloud
mm,
Conversations because Peter does IT, like IT security, and so does Rue and Kat does Teams. So
yeah,
we're expanding our
yeah, we
horizons
need to show
now with
Power
Power
Platform some
Platform.
love. We
Yeah.
definitely need more of that on the show.
We do. So to get started, why don't you tell the audience a little bit about yourself, Eliza, and what do you
Yeah,
specialize in?
sure. So I'm Eliza. I'm based in the capital city of New Zealand, Wellington, which is also known as the windy capital city of the world.
Nice.
If you know, you know. So in other words, if you are visiting from outside of New Zealand and you happen to be landing in the Wellington City Airport, it can be a bit shaky, just saying.
Ooh.
But we're a cool city, so yeah.
You hear
So
that, Chicago?
I
You might have some competition.
Yeah.
So I moved here with my family back in the year 2000, and I did, the rest of high school here. I went to university here in the same city. I did my first corporate IT job in the same city, and then after 4 and a bit years at that company, I moved over to Melbourne in Australia because I wanted to know what solution delivery was like outside of New Zealand, basically. And no offense, Peter, I didn't want to move to the UK because that's what every single one of
Ah,
my friends were
all good.
doing.
It's
and I
all
was
good.
like, I kind of want to go somewhere warmer than
I
New
don't blame
Zealand.
you. I don't blame
Sounds
you.
good.
So
Yeah.
then, yeah, I moved to Melbourne, and I lived and worked there for an amazing 6 years. I really loved Melbourne, and then I came back to New Zealand, to Wellington. So what do? I basically started as a sales administrator back here in Wellington City for the first Microsoft partner that I worked at. And then when I moved over to Australia, that's when I became a business analyst. And then as the years went by, I went up into being a consultant. But I just knew that in my time with the Microsoft partner that I worked with here in New Zealand, I knew that I wanted to do more in terms of what I was doing in sales. And that's how I got loaned out to a government customer because I started working with them on loan because they needed some resources, but they didn't have, I guess, the capacity or the budget to perhaps hire someone internally, but they also needed help with this technical aspect of this solution that my former company had built. And then from there, I just moved on to what you call managed services, which is supporting companies in New Zealand and in Australia. So that was like my 4 and a bit years with that first Microsoft company. And yeah, I'm a Microsoft MVP. So hopefully
Yay.
this year will be my 5-year milestone.
Wow. Awesome.
Congratulations. And you were
Yeah,
the
we'll
first
see.
female in New Zealand to become MVP, right? For business solutions.
Yeah. Well, it was well. Yeah, I thought I was, but then Mark was it Mark Smith or Neil Benson? One of them mentioned that there was another female in, I believe, in Australia who was awarded, but then shortly after she was hired by Microsoft.
Oh,
So
right.
Okay.
So,
it still counts. It still counts.
yeah. So
Yeah.
at the time, I was the only current female, both in Australia and New Zealand. Thankfully, we've had other fellow female, lovely people in the community be awarded as MVPs in Australia. So people like Lisa Crosby and Anything But Code, Amy Holden.
Yes.
But in New Zealand, unfortunately, I'm still the only current female. So if you go to the Microsoft MVP site and you filter to New Zealand, I'm the only one that shows up in my category. But it's kind of like, even though it is nice, but at the same time, I'm kind of like, oh, I wish there were others there with me. Like me and some other MVPs in Wellington, we are trying to get someone be awarded as a female MVP. So it's just a matter of time. Hopefully I hope she does become awarded.
Yeah, I hope so, definitely.
We're still waiting for more. We are still a lot of firsts in the Microsoft sphere for sure. So I think I counted when I was awarded in December, I'm one of like 8 Black female MVPs of Black and or African descent in the database. So we need more representation for sure. I know we're all trying, like, with our outreach and whatnot, to find like who's going to be the next one.
I know what you mean, because I can relate. So my role model back then, so her name is Eileen Gusney, and I actually met her when I left Melbourne and I went to Singapore as part of my worldwide trip, on tour trip. And she was awarded, I believe, back in 2014. So I was still in Wellington in New Zealand, and she was someone who I was following because she had really, really good blogs. And to see her be awarded and see, someone who looked like me be awarded, that made me go, wow, she can do it. Maybe I can do that one day. It was something that I didn't aspire to at the time. It was only when I moved to Melbourne and made friends with other Microsoft MVPs over there, that's when I was like, okay, well, maybe I could do that one day. And it happened. But meeting her was one of my favorite moments out of that trip. When you meet one of those people that you look up to, it was incredible. And she's so nice, she's so lovely. So these days she works for Microsoft in Singapore.
Okay. Awesome. Yes, I know we talk about like, we don't have enough like women representation or non-binary representation in tech. I feel like Power Platform feels inclusive. And I know there are people out there. It's like, how do we find them? How do we reach them? And where can we dig our claws and be like, come with me. So I know, like, I teach with Power Platform School with Anton Robbins, and that school is very much
Anton.
Hey Anton, hey boo. I'm trying to get him to come on the show. He said he said yes. So at some point in the future he'll be here. But one of the things like we teach with Power Platform School, which is centered around helping Black and Asian like folks get into tech. And it's just an incredible feeling to be like, yes, that representation, we are actively bringing them in. So we teach like in-a-day classes. There's also like career advice, resume writing. Trisha and Will are doing great things with this school. Like they started the UK cohort, and then the US cohort started like 2 years ago, which is when I got involved. And it's just like extending this reach, bringing people in to have this shared love of tech. And everybody's so bright and smart. And like, it's, I don't think there's a lack of people that are interested. I think it's just, they don't know what exists yet. And then we just bring it to them. So keep doing the good work, Elaiza. Keep doing the good work.
Thank you.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, why do you think there is in the year 2022, why do you think we've still got so much work to do, and what can we do you think, Elaiza, to try and attract more diversity into the MVP program?
Ooh, good question. So like in terms of New Zealand, I think it's just a mindset. Like they're and I don't know if it's the same in other countries, but like people over here in New Zealand, they kind of tend to be um I wouldn't say reserved, but they don't like to be on the limelight as much. And then when you are in the limelight, it can be good and negative. So there's this, I wouldn't call it a phenomenon, but there's this known, how do I describe it? Known
Pattern?
image. I don't know.
Image, yeah.
It's
Perception.
called perception. It's called tall poppy syndrome. Have you heard about this?
No.
No.
I'm gonna
So
Google it
it's
right now.
it's common in New Zealand, and it's kind of funny. So I'm just gonna talk outside of IT because someone in the, I guess, celebrity or acting industry mentioned it about New Zealand, and it's the actor AJ Kappa from Riversdale. So he's talked about tall poppy syndrome, and that's one of his reasons for leaving New Zealand and to pursue his career over in LA. And it's about where if if you do well in life or in your career, or I guess wherever, um, it's great. Like it's good for you, and you should be celebrating it. You should be talking about it. But then there's this culture here where if you're seen at that level, like people will somehow try to bring you down, if that makes sense. Like they'll kind of deter your achievements and your success in life. So I don't know whether it's because of that, but like some people just don't want to be in the spotlight or limelight, and I don't know if that's one of the reasons, but it's just New Zealand's like a different type of mindset. However, saying that, there are people who are doing really great things here, and I'm hoping that changes in terms of that mindset, because you do see them excel. Like I can see it on Twitter, and I can see it both on LinkedIn, and then when you have those conversations with them in person, whether it's at a user group or a different type of industry event, you know that they're doing well. But as part of being a Microsoft MVP is also bringing others with you into the limelight, which I'm a big believer in, because I know that I'm not always going to be a Microsoft MVP. I know that there's going to be a next wave of brilliant people who are going to come after me, and so for those who are shining stars, but they just don't know it yet, it's really nice to bring them along as well. Because in the last Microsoft partner I worked for here in New Zealand, there were some brilliant people in there, and it's just nice being able to highlight them both internally as well as externally if there's that opportunity as well. Yeah. I don't know. Did I make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. I can totally see if people are trying to actively like sabotage you, like why would you subject yourself to that kind of negative energy? I think that would also deter me, right? If you're not getting that support and people are just going to be like, boo, tomato, tomato, tomato at you for trying to succeed. That seems difficult. How have you dealt with that?
I've been fine. Like I've always stayed, I suppose, true to myself, because I know that over the years I've had those conversations that you don't expect with people in your company. Like one of the reasons why I moved to Melbourne, to Australia, as well as wanting to experience what projects and solutions are like outside of New Zealand, was that I couldn't go any further in the company that I had started with, and that was because they didn't have any availability to hire, someone to join what they call the project delivery team. But then at the same time, it was kind of one of those things where I know I'm good at what I do, so why don't you want me in the team? Kind of feeling.
Yeah.
Which kind of sucks at times,
Mhm.
realistically, because if you have talent in your organization and you can't see it, then unfortunately they're gonna move on, which is what I did. Like I would have stayed, but then in hindsight, I'm also like, but I still would have moved because my life in Melbourne was amazing. But even in Melbourne for the second Microsoft partner I'd worked at, I remember having a conversation with someone quite senior in the company at one time, and he literally told me, he said, "I don't think you have what it takes to be a consultant," and I was kind of shocked about that, and I like it did hurt. Like, I'm not gonna lie,
Yeah.
those words hurt. But then I got over it, and I was just like, well, I'm still just gonna be me and do good and be awesome at what I do, and yeah, the rest is history, I
Look at you
suppose.
now. Look at you
Yeah.
now. Yeah,
Yeah.
flip that hair, girl. Do your thing.
Hey.
I feel like I would say that's probably, I feel like some listeners could probably really, really relate to that too. Like having somebody telling
Yeah.
you like, you're not worth it, you're not good enough. And
Mm.
to be like, well, I've been putting in the work and the effort and I've demonstrated, right? My work
Yeah.
speaks for itself. And yet
Mm.
somebody's still like, you're not good enough. Yeah,
Yeah.
that hurts for sure.
Yeah.
Mm. And did he give
And
you any
that's
reasons why at the time? Did he back that up, validate that in any way, or
yes, but
try to?
I honestly can't remember what his
Yeah.
reasons were.
At that point, you're like, I don't want it.
Yeah.
But it was, it's those things where it's always going to happen. Like, you're always going to get that type of, I guess, feedback or comments in life, and so it's just a matter of, okay, you can, brew over it for a little bit, and then just take the high road and be like, I don't believe that. I believe in myself more than
Yeah.
those words. Yeah.
That's awesome. It's so great that you didn't let that stop you.
I know.
So more power to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it.
Oh,
Look
thank
at you. Yeah, look
Thank
at
you.
you now. So, leading into the next question. So you have worked
Yeah.
for companies for years and you recently went independent, like to do independent consulting. Is that correct?
Yes, I
Okay.
did.
So, right, you got this feedback that you'd never be a consultant, and look, now you've gone independent. Tell us about that.
Yeah, it's been good. Like, it's been a really nice change, and I still get people reach out to me every now and then saying, "Hey, are you interested in this role, or can you help us out?" And it's been nice. I thought maybe going independent, as a contractor, you wouldn't have those opportunities, but they're pretty much the same. The nice thing about going independent is that you honestly learn more about yourself in terms of A, time management, and B, the financial management as well, because you're no longer in that space where everything's handled for you in terms of, like, a portion of whatever you earn goes straight into so over here it's called Kiwi Saver, like superannuation, like your pension in the future.
Okay.
And then a dedicated bit again gets put aside for your tax return. But when you're a contractor, you kind of have to do all of that yourself.
Sure.
But listening to other friends and taking their advice, I actually do have an accountant, so I'm good.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is so important, because I've got a bit of both of that. I work for a company, but I do a few little side hustles, which mean I do have to fill in a tax return. Unfortunately, a very long-term friend of my wife's is an accountant, and she's awesome.
That's so good.
I don't get it. I do pay her for it, but I don't take advantage of her good nature. But I couldn't do it without her. She's amazing.
Yeah.
And my dad's an accountant, so maybe I'll get his services for free.
Yeah, no, that's different.
Maybe you should
keep
help
it in the
you.
family.
If it's family, then yeah.
Yeah.
Hey.
He taught me how to do
Cloud.
Yeah, hey Papa Cloud. Yeah, he taught me how to do my taxes by hand, right? Instead of using like the digital softwares. And he's like, you're gonna learn how to do it by hand. He's like, and then we'll compare it in the softwares, and then at least you'll know like you're on par. And the year that we did it, a couple of years that I did it by hand and then plugged into the software, it was like he got it. It was like exact. So Papa Cloud, he knows a thing or two. I'll refer to him later if I ever.
So when you say you did it by hand, as in you did the T ledger concept?
Yes,
like, things on the left, things on the right.
Yeah. We're just like, if something, fill this number out in like box 1, and then take that number and subtract it from here, and this and this and this and this and this. So he taught me how to do it that way. Like using American. It's like I think at the time it was like a 2 or 3 page form.
Go you.
Oh my God. You know what? He my dad really likes numbers a lot. He's a biggie. He still does his by hand, and he mails his in to the IRS. So that's how my dad does it.
Wow.
Well, it's so cool because I find that, some of the things that you do in life are and somewhat inspired or influenced by by people either in your family that you look up to. Because for me, like in terms of stuff that I learned from my dad, it was actually Excel. He's the one who taught me Excel. So he's a real OG as a low code developer.
Excel was high tech.
Yeah. Like he was the one who taught me Excel, and then he introduced me to Microsoft Word as well. And then back in the day, as part of the Office suite, you also got Microsoft Publisher. I don't know if there's anyone out there who remembers that, but I used to, play with that, and I would make my own, A4 folded cards as well. I was that person.
So you were a techie before you were really a techie, before it was like trendy, right?
Yeah. And that's the thing. I like in terms of learning how to use a keyboard, I would type out, books, like my storybooks that I had when I was little. Like I would just match the letters with the letters on the keyboard as well. Yeah.
That's really cute.
And then eventually, as part of, the school curriculum, you learn how to touch type. And so then I practice that as well.
Oh, with the home keys and all that.
Yeah.
You've got to place your fingers on you still have them, don't they? The little ridges on the keyboard. F is one of them, isn't it? And J. There you go.
Oh, interesting. I have a very flat keyboard, so I don't know. Ooh, I need to go take a look. I'm looking at my laptop now, and it doesn't have. This would be for like external keyboards that it has like a divot or something for your fingers.
Yeah.
Oh, like an ergonomic keyboard.
Oh, I don't know if I've noticed this before, so I'll have to go dig out my work keyboard and see.
Yeah. They still have the home keys on there, but because my first job that I did years and years ago was in a law firm, and this is before they had computers in there, and the legal secretaries who typed up all the letters they were using typewriters, and God, I've never seen anything like it. They were just weren't even looking at it. It's like, how do they do that? It's amazing. Because I've developed my own style of typing over the years, but it's nowhere near as good as that.
The typewriters, right? If you mess up, there's no just like hitting a backspace. I mean, they have like the whiteout keys, but I don't think it's as efficient as we can just like erase. Yeah. Imagine typing multiple documents like that, man.
And they were awesome at it. Absolutely awesome. I don't know how they did it. Really cool stuff.
Awesome. That's neat. Now I feel like I want to go like a trip down nostalgia lane on like old technology and also like a typewriter. So you've talked about, you've worked for Microsoft partners. You recently had the really cool experience of, and speaking of Lisa, as we did before, I was like, ooh, this is going to come full circle. Working with Lisa Crosby, you all had the opportunity to do like a recap of MS Build. So what was that? Like, I unfortunately did not get to catch any of that live, but I saw like retweets and everything. I was like, oh, they look so nice on the internet. What was that like?
Oh, thank you. So So Lisa Crosby is someone who I've worked with in the past, and she's honestly amazing. If you know her in person, she's pretty much the same person that you see on video as
Right.
well,
Yeah.
on her YouTube videos. And we did a recap last year for the very first time for Microsoft Ignite, so that was back in November. And yeah, we enjoyed it. So we were like, okay, well, why don't we just keep doing it every time there's a big virtual event? So
Yeah.
we were going to do it for the Microsoft Business Applications launch event. Sorry, that's a whole mouthful. MBAO. And but she had too many priorities going on, so we couldn't do a recap for that. So then we're like, okay, how about we try aim for Microsoft Build, and that's what we did. So we pretty much covered the keynote and the goodies from the Power Platform sessions, and yeah, it was cool. It was great, and it works out well
video,
because yeah. So we did a live stream on YouTube
cool.
and on Twitter, and so the recording is available on her YouTube channel, which is Lisa Crosby. Just find her on YouTube and hit the subscribe button.
Yeah, we can put a link to it in the show notes for sure.
I will definitely do that.
Yeah.
I've come across Lisa before. I've worked with her on some things at Ignite last year. We did I can't remember what it was now, but there was something at Ignite where a few MVPs got involved in something, and it was really cool.
Is it one of those round tables?
It was one
panels?
of the it was Ask the Experts. That's what it was. It was Ask the Expert sessions when Teams webinars came in. And that was what it was. Yeah, but no, she's really cool.
I have to say, like, watching you and Lisa, your voices on YouTube are so soothing. I'm like, teach me about Power Apps, teach me about Flow. It's just so pleasant to listen to. So,
thanks. Thanks, Azure.
Yeah, you have a very nice voice, and you've got a YouTube channel too.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, W2F, What the Flow. How did you come up with that name? Because I remember seeing it and I cracked up when I saw it. And I was like, it's so true. Because sometimes like, what is going on? I saw somebody's blog the other day. It was something about trying to import items that are not in a solution into a solution. And then they had a thing that was like, what the F, like happened to my flow? And then the Lizzo song, Where the Hell My Phone, came into my head. And I was like, where the hell my flow? Where's that? Anyway, if nobody knows that song, please go look up Where the Hell is My Phone, because it's funny. Anyway, we're going back to What the Flow.
Yes. So the name was obviously a play on words. So the story behind it is that my background is in Dynamics 365. So I started with Dynamics CRM version 4. So this was back in 2010. So this is when I was working in sales, because they were using it as part of the sales management process. And in Dynamics 365, there's what you call workflows, but now it's called classic workflows, now that you've got a cloud workflow engine, which is Power Automate Cloud Flows. And so in Australia, we were doing what you call the Dynamics 365 Saturday boot camps or events. Oh, no, it was just called Dynamics 365 Saturday, sorry. And then New Zealand was going to have one later in the year. And I didn't have enough time to do my, workflows in Power Automate Cloud Flows. I was still doing it in the Dynamics 365 classic workflows. So then fast forward, in preparation for the New Zealand one, I was like, okay, how about I just challenge myself and see whether I can translate, my workflows in Dynamics 365 into Power Automate Cloud Flows. And that's how that learning process started to begin, because the way you configure both of them, they're similar but not, and if that makes sense. And what you're used to in Dynamics 365 is a very click and select interaction, whereas with Power Automate Cloud Flows, yes, you have that click and select interaction, but it's a step up where you're actually defining your own logic within the Cloud Flow. So then in that process of trying to convert what I had in Dynamics 365 into Power Automate Cloud Flows, that's what boosted and accelerated my learning. And at times I was like, why is this so difficult? It's so easy in Dynamics 365, but in Cloud Flows, it's completely different. But then there's this point in your learning where, you keep failing. I know we've all been there with cloud flows.
Yes.
Come on. Where you just keep failing. And then one day it just goes, oh, I kind of get it. And then it goes back up again. But then it dips again. So it's like this love-hate relationship. But then, and so there were a lot of WTF moments. And then when it came time to, share what I learned, because I figured, hey, there's going to be other people in the Dynamics 365 community who are probably pulling their hair out because they don't know how to do the exact same concept in Power Automate Cloud Flows. So then that's when I was like, oh my gosh, I should call my series WTF, what the flow? And that's how it all started.
I love it. I think I remember the first time, because I met you in Textilers like 2 years ago. And I remember when I first started following you, and you had retweeted or tweeted out that you put out a new video, and I saw the name of it, and I was like, "This is ingenious," because it makes total sense. Yes, we've all been there, banging our head against the wall. I've not dealt with Dynamics like workflows, but yes, cloud flows. I mean, as recently as yesterday. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
I think that's absolutely wonderful. So do you still with your content and whatnot, is it still focused on the CRM space, or have you fully moved into doing more automation stuff with Power Platform that's not using Dynamics?
It's a bit of both. But I guess for me it's always gonna lead back to Dynamics 365 or Dataverse, because I love both Dynamics 365 and Dataverse, and it's always nice to show people how you can, extend Dynamics 365 or Dataverse with automation using Cloud Flows. And a lot of customers that I've worked with in the past do have Dynamics 365, so it's about being able to educate them, to help them with their automation journey, and be like, oh, so I have everything that I have been doing the last X years in Dynamics 365. I can now go one step further with automation or even apps as well. So that's why I'll probably still do content with Dynamics 365 or Dataverse, just because it's something that I like and I enjoy.
And still absolutely relevant. I'll be watching these because one of my clients that I have for work, they're implementing Dynamics 365 from an on-prem system that they have. And part of my job is going to be extending the Dynamics functionality using Power Automate. So I'll be thumbs upping every single video and commenting on every single video and being like, yes, this helped me. I like to do that when I see my friends on the internet. Yes, watch out. I'm coming for you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so I know you are vegan and you post the most delicious stuff. So there's a group chat with a couple of us in it, and Elaiza just posts like the most divine looking desserts. I think the last thing I saw on your feed was a birthday cake from a place that looked phenomenal. What's the latest creations that you've been making or eating? Where you are?
Yeah, so I recently came across this site, and I can provide it in the show notes. It's called Budget Bites.
I love Budget Bites.
Oh, you do?
Yes, I
do. So for those who have no idea what Budget Bites is, it's basically I think it's a she. I think it's a female.
Yeah, it is.
So she comes up with all of these meal recipes with everyday staples or ingredients that don't cost a lot, which is pretty handy given that a lot of prices in the grocery stores or supermarkets have gone from here to here. And one of the recipes that I followed was so I think the recipe title is called beef cabbage stir fry, but I replaced the beef with tofu. I just just crumbled it up with my own hands, and it was so good, and it was so affordable as well. And that's what I like. I like really good, tasty whole food meals. Like, don't get me wrong, occasionally I'll have something like I don't know, like a noodle stir fry dish, but most of the time it's mainly whole foods with brown rice. It's delicious.
I totally get that. I love tofu so much. Because I'm my wife and I are vegetarian.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, not many. There you go. And I'm very close to being vegan at times. I do sort of
Yeah.
go back and forth on cheese is a hard thing for me to give up, but
Yeah.
but I go back and forth on it. But vegetarian for about must be about 5 or 6 years now,
Oh,
and
wow. That's
I
amazing.
am the most unlikely vegetarian. If you'd known me for a long time, people who do have known me for a long time don't believe it. They're like, "What, you don't eat meat? You're not even chicken?" Because I was complete freak for the chicken. I loved KFC. I was just couldn't get enough chicken. But it all came about because Louise, my wife, did it first. It was something she wanted to do for a very long time, and I'm not.
Yeah.
I say I'm not much of a cook. I'm not a cook at all. I hate cooking.
Oh,
Fortunately,
man.
Louise loves it. She absolutely loves cooking. So I'm so lucky that so I just eat what she eats.
Yeah.
And more I found myself making more vegetarian choices naturally, and I thought, well, I might as well just do this. And I've
Yeah.
never looked back. I don't miss eating meat. Sometimes I still occasionally like the smell of things, but I'm never tempted to eat meat. I've never once fell off the wagon. So
Yeah.
there you go. But
Yeah, I haven't fallen off the wagon either. So I think I'm 4 years now as a vegan, but it was kind of similar to what you described with you and Louise, where I knew it was something that I wanted to pursue one day. And yeah, 1 year in Melbourne, I was just like, okay, I'm gonna do it. But before that, I kind of, I guess I went through it in stages. Like I went from eating, everything that was animal product related to then becoming pescatarian. So for those listeners who don't know what pescatarian is, it's basically seafood and veggies, but no, beef or chicken or lamb or goat. That's a thing. And then I went vegetarian, and then I was like, okay, I'm going to commit to being vegan. But I do know what you mean about cheese, because cheese is something that I really liked as well. And I have tried some vegan cheese, but it's not exactly the same. And I don't really go out of my way to buy it. However, if I am eating out, and let's say it's at a place that does like a plant-based burger, and they have like a vegan cheese, and of course I'll eat it, but I don't go out of my way to buy it, when I do my grocery or supermarket shopping. Yeah.
You can get some really great vegan burgers now, though. I mean, there's one called in the UK. You can get one called a Beyond Burger, which is
that's my favorite.
I've heard about it. Yeah.
Oh, it's so good. And there are times when you literally cannot believe that you're not eating meat. There are so many good other choices you can make now as a vegetarian or a vegan, where you think, is this? You've got to check the packaging. Am I really not eating meat here? It's like,
I really like them. I remember taking my best friend. She took me to her favorite burger spot one time, and they didn't have any actually burger patties that day, and so they had the Beyond Burger, and I was like, you should try it. And she's like, you know what, I've never had one of these vegetarian style burgers before. And when she ate it, she's like, it tastes almost exactly. She's like, I wanted the actual, like, I know it's not real meat, and that's what's tripping me up. But she's like, honestly, I wouldn't be able to really tell the difference otherwise. I think they're delicious. And my old roommate, he would make like this spicy guac, like this was at the beginning of the pandemic. He'd make a spicy guac to put on the burger. Oh, it was so good. And quick pickled onions.
Guacamole,
yeah, it was so good.
Okay, now you're making me hungry.
Sorry. I know it's breakfast. It's breakfast your time. Only a few more minutes, and then you can eat something wonderful. There's a place that opened up nearby, maybe like 15 minutes. It was closer to my old job. But they are a vegan place, and it's called Saint Veg. And so if anybody is, and it is absolutely delicious. My favorite thing from there, and I'm not vegetarian yet, but they have a chickpea potato burger. It's called like the Mumbai burger, and it's like a spicy chickpea and potato with I think it's like a mango tomato like compote on top. Oh, it's so good.
Just imagine eating this right now.
It is. That was my celebration meal when I had my last day at my last job. It was like a really hectic day, and I was like running to campus to go turn on my computer. Like I hadn't showered or anything, and I was like, you know what? I'm done. And I just went straight there and scarfed down a chickpea potato burger, and I have no regrets. That place is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Budget
Indian
bites,
food's
everybody.
interesting though, because Indian food in India is vegetarian, whereas certainly in the UK, it's all about the meat. It's like chicken korma and chicken balti or whatever. But it's so easy to eat Indian food without the meat. Again, it's just I absolutely love it.
Yeah, we've got a healthy variety of like both here. You can, if you want to go to an all vegetarian Indian place, there's one like 5 minutes up the road. If you do want something else like meat centered, you go the opposite way. So you can never really like go wrong. Ooh. I'm so happy to have found somebody else who loves budget bites as much as I do. They have I can't eat shellfish because I have an allergy, but they have a recipe. Beth has a recipe for blackened shrimp tacos.
Ooh,
yeah, and she teaches you like how to make the blackened seasoning, and it is so good. I've never had blackened tofu before, so I wonder if that is a thing. But she has you like make a slaw and like a dressing for the slaw, and it's so good. It is so good.
I need to check that out then.
Yeah, I'll drop you the recipe in Twitter. I'll drop it to both of you in Twitter.
Yeah, budget bites. I'm going to have to check this out. But one other thing that I do sort of that keeps me being vegetarian rather than vegan is also eggs. But I have heard there's a famous vegan in this country. I can't for the life of me remember her name right now, but she says that she used to love eggs. But one thing that she's found is a good substitute is tofu scramble.
I make tofu scramble every other week. It's pretty good. Like my my go-to sprinkles, I don't know. seasonings
I like sprinkles.
Come on now. As I use things like herbs and like black pepper and paprika, some turmeric, some like a bit of chili, garlic powder, onion powder,
nice.
and then some nutritional yeast, which is for those of you who are like, what the hell is nutritional yeast? It's like this it's like this cheesy, flaky substance that kind of gives you that cheesiness flavor, if that makes sense. And then the other tip that I found out when I went vegan is it's called Kala Namak, which is an Indian black salt. So it has this type of taste, sulfuric taste, I suppose, that kind of gives you the egg-like effect. But it's been used for years in vegetarian Indian cooking. So yeah, it's really tasty. I love it.
Ooh. Yeah. I'm learning. Okay, I'm gonna need you to drop like some recipes on your Twitter.
Okay.
I'm gonna be looking because this sounds delicious. Yeah.
It is, and I love to have it with some avocado and some hot sauce. So thankfully here in New Zealand we can get 2 of the Mexican hot sauce brands. I think one of them is called is it Cholula?
Yes,
I love that. And then the other one is I think it's Picanto or
Picante.
Yeah, Picante.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
So luckily, we can buy that here in New Zealand because I love Mexican hot sauce.
Okay.
I'm sorry, New Zealand hot sauce, but it's just Mexican hot sauce is just phenomenal. And then when you actually go to Mexico and have their actual different variations of hot sauces, it is just it's bomb. It's next level. Yeah.
There's my favorite little spot that's up the street from me. I'm there like once a week. This is Taco Bay or Taco Hubby.
Taco
as
Bay.
I used to talk about. So Peter, there is a taco place that before I lived here, I lived about half an hour from this place, but I would drive 15, 20 minutes from work, fight traffic, whatever it would took to go to this taco place. And it's just so good. But there's a guy there. His name is John. Hi, John. He does not watch this at all.
Just in case. You never know.
Just in case. I love you, man. I really do. But I'd go there and John would be there. And John is such a nice dude. He's a cutie. But I started referring to him on Twitter at one point as Taco Hubby. And I would announce anytime I was going to this place.
I love it.
Taco Hubby, like he and his wife had bought a house. They're expecting a baby. And I'm like, he just keeps me up. We're on a first name basis. It's really nice. I haven't seen him the last few times I've been there, but I've not tweeted about him in a while. But they're hot. I love their hot sauce, and they recently changed it. It's just good. So now that I know that you like hot sauce, I will be sending you some. Maybe this package may or may not get lost in the mail, because I think the one that was supposed to get to you,
I still haven't received it. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. There's something with US Post going on, because I sent a girlfriend of mine a care package back in March, and she lives in the United States, in Ohio. And yesterday in the mail, I got from the box, they had cut out the label and attached a note to it saying, oh, like we found this, like damaged or whatever in the post, and we just wanted to send it back to you with no contents. There was no box. It was just like a cutout of the label. Someone got some really nice body wash and bath bombs and everything else. I'm upset. And I sent this to her in March, and I just got a note yesterday. She's like, I never received it, and this is why. So FedEx would never, UPS would never. So I will find a different carrier to send you stuff, because somebody's out there right now enjoying Kool-Aid. I guarantee it.
Yeah.
That never got to you. Ooh, yeah, I will. Now that I know, I'm taking notes. So what do you do on your spare time these days, Elaiza?
So I love to cook. So Peter, if you ever come to New Zealand, I will cook you up a feast.
Oh, awesome.
You got bucket list, you got passport. You gotta get it, Peter.
Yeah, I'm gonna. I don't have a passport currently, but I need to get it renewed. But absolutely, I would love that. That'd be so cool.
Yeah, come on over. And the other thing that I like doing, this is gonna sound, I don't know, maybe odd or weird to some people, is at the moment for the past 2 years, I've been going through this phase where I just want to get rid of more and more stuff. Mm-hmm. And it's hilarious, because I put aside clothes in what you call like vacuum seal bags. Mm-hmm. And it's one of those things where I haven't thought about those clothes that I've put away. Yeah. And so I had this crazy thought. I don't know if I'm going to do it, but if I do it, I'll tweet about it. And it's just getting rid of everything and just going simple, where I just buy Monday to Sunday t-shirts, and that's it. That's all I have in my wardrobe.
I don't see this as a bad idea. Isn't it something was it Bill Gates or somebody who wears like the same uniform all the time, just has like 7 black shirts or a bunch of black shirts and pants? Who is that?
Facebook guy, isn't it? It's
Mark Zuckerberg.
He wears
He does it?
I think he only wears grey t-shirts. I think he sort of stole the idea from the late Steve Jobs, who only wore black turtlenecks, didn't he?
Yeah, because I just feel like there's so many things that I don't need in life. And I know like people love to dress up, but I just feel like I'm just not there anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
well, you don't need to.
Yeah, because I'm such a jeans and t-shirt person. Give me that any day of the week over having to dress, like smart, casual, corporate style for work. Mm-hmm. I just love being in jeans. It's just so comfortable. Yeah.
I was talking with a guy friend about this yesterday, because his uniform has been, in the decade that I've known him, is just a crew neck shirt and cargo pants. And in the summer, it's cargo shorts. And that's what he wears. That is his uniform. And he's like, I don't know if it's ever in style, out of style, but it makes it so easy to get dressed. And that has been his uniform for the past decade. And I think it's a great idea. I love, like, I'm wearing just a V-neck white tee right now, and I wore jeans out. And you're right, it's simple. And then if you ever want to like pair something like a scarf with it, or it always works.
Yeah, exactly.
It always works. Yeah,
exactly.
I feel that a lot, because I struggle a lot with anything that is patterned these days. I typically don't have something solid to match it
Yeah,
with. So.
I know what you mean, because I feel like over the last, I'd say maybe 5 years, my sense of fashion, well, I don't really have a sense of fashion anymore,
Girl, me either.
has changed, where I prefer to wear, plain, like what I'm wearing right now, like plain colored t-shirts or long sleeves that don't have any logos. And so over here, I think the equivalent of, is it an American Apparel in the States? So over here there's
yes.
Over here in Australia and New Zealand, there's this brand called AS Color, and it's got no branding whatsoever, and it's all just colors like pink, blue, gray, red. And I have a couple of shirts from this brand, because they also do what do you call it, where all of their t-shirts and gear is made in factories where they don't endorse child labor. Like, it's all
yeah.
There's like this ethical side of this for this company that I like to buy t-shirts from. And it's just so nice, and they have like really good deals where you could buy 5 t-shirts for, I can't remember how much, and it's just great. And I'm just like, I just want to go to that store and just have like Monday to Sunday t-shirts. But I don't know, I'm still playing with that thought.
I endorse this. It makes it easy to get dressed in the morning. Yeah. I would say
great idea.
Do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, clothes should be easy and simple. I think this is something we've all realized in pandemic and post-pandemic times, isn't it? One thing that I was doing long before that, actually, this is a giveaway, that I don't really buy anything. I get free clothes from events.
Yeah.
And if I do something for Microsoft or write a blog post for Petri or Practical 365, they send you all this free stuff, and it's great.
Yeah.
You don't have to buy your own hoodies ever.
Yeah, well, it's funny because I have a drawer of, well, I call it my swag drawer, because it's just a drawer full of like t-shirts I've gotten over the years, and it's actually been my work uniform, where I just wear like my Microsoft Flow t-shirts, or I've got a Power Platform t-shirt as well. That's all I wear. Yeah, and then when I'm not. Oh, really?
Yeah, I've only got one like Microsoft related swag piece, and it's a Power App shirt, and I've had it for like 2 years. That's all I have. Yeah.
Oh.
You need to get to some of these in-person events and get some new stuff. And also have a word with your community program manager as well, and say, we need more swag.
Yeah, we've gotten like stickers and whatnot. I know at least for the US, for the MVPs, we got like a nice waterproof backing like picnic blanket and a frisbee.
Yes.
Did everybody get that? Okay, everybody got that one. But no shirts, no jackets or anything. Not yet. And my Power Up shirt has like holes in the shoulder for whatever reason. I'm like, that's my one. It's so comfy though. But yes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'll ask for more swag.
Well, are either of you going to be attending upcoming in-person conferences? Like, Peter, are you going to go to, I think it's Scottish Summit, which is the next big one in the UK?
I was going to try and get to Scottish Summit, but I don't think I'm going to make it now. The one that I will definitely be at, though, is South Coast Summit, which is in October, because very, very good friend of mine and colleague of mine is one of the organizers of South Coast Summit. Hey, Aaron Rendell, really good guy. And I didn't make it last year, and I've promised him faithfully I will be there this year. So.
Oh, what about you, Asher? Sorry, Peter.
No, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. No, that's fine.
All I was going to say, it's hard for me to get to conferences because of my family situation with my son Oliver. But it's getting easier. But yeah, how about you?
I'm going to be doing DynamicsCon Live in September in Dallas, Texas. So we were talking with Geetha actually earlier today. So we'll get to meet up. So this will be my first conference, like in person, that I'll get to do. Yeah, it's hard to believe. I've been doing this for a while, but all of my friends are in my computer. And so that I'm going to that. I put in a couple sessions for Power Platform Conference, which is week after, or like almost like overlapping weeks with Dynamics Con Live. And then I put in also a bid for Nordic Summit. So we'll see what happens with that. Yeah.
Cool.
So I contacted the organizers because that one's it's only a 1-day event. So it would be like a really quick succession, because Dynamics Con, I think, is 4 or 5 days. And then Power Platform Conference is, I think, 7, like with workshops on either end. Yeah.
7.
It is huge.
I didn't realize it was 7 days.
Hold on. Let me, before I stick my foot in my mouth. But yeah, it is. I thought it was just about 7 days. Hold on 1 second.
Oh, wow. Gosh. Well,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's 6 days. So same difference. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they have workshops on either end, and then the like events like in between. So we'll see what happens. I've not gotten accepted to anything beyond Dynamics Con Live. So might be just doing like a tour of like US. So go to Texas, go to Florida, and then go to Stockholm.
Norway.
But yeah.
Stockholm. Oh wow, cool.
So
Stockholm is nice. Yeah.
I've never been before. I've never been to Europe.
It's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, you haven't? Oh,
no,
wow.
No. Yeah. I've been within the continental US, and my dad's family's from Jamaica. So I've been around like the Caribbean area, but beyond that, I've not done a ton of traveling. So I feel like Microsoft conference circuits is a good excuse to be like, I'm going for like work and play at the same time. And do that. So we'll see. I don't know when we're supposed to hear about if we get accepted or not, or like what the time period. But all the registrations just closed within the past, or the call for speakers have closed within the past like a week or two. So hopefully soon.
Yeah. Oh.
How about you?
Yeah.
I'm not going to any conferences this year. I'm just gonna stay put here
That's
in
fair.
New Zealand.
Yeah. That's absolutely fair. Yeah, what about, I'm trying to think, have you done any online conferences this year?
Have I? I think I've only done user groups this year.
Only user groups,
I haven't done
same.
any online conferences, because I think they're all getting back to in-person events anyway.
Yeah, because I haven't done anything this year myself either, but then also like MBAS is no longer a thing anymore.
I know. I'm so sad about that.
I know, me too. So Microsoft Business Application Summit doesn't, I don't think it's returning with the exit.
No, it's not.
So we don't have that anymore. They had the launch event in, I think, April or May timeframe, but that was kind of just like an hour-and-a-half session. And that was it. And I was like, oh, that was sad. So I think that one kind of went away with James Phillips when he left Microsoft, if I remember correctly. So that was like his.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do for Microsoft Ignite this year. Whether it'll be online again or maybe a bit of both.
Is it supposed to be coming back this year? Because I haven't seen anything about it.
Microsoft Ignite? Well, I'm sure.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
I've heard it's probably going to be remote again at least one more time. Is what I've heard rumors of, not confirmed by any means, but nothing ever is from Microsoft really, is it? But until they tell you themselves. But Ignite, I think, because over the past couple of years during COVID times, they've been doing 2 Ignites a year, haven't they? One in spring and one in the fall. But this year there wasn't an Ignite in the springtime. I'm sure there's definitely one planned for the fall, though.
Yeah, I hope so. I was looking within the past couple of weeks to see if they had anything out, because I was like, "Ooh, it felt like it," because I know Ignite's normally like in May, something like that. But looking for the fall, I haven't seen anything quite yet. So I don't know if it's too early, or I won't speculate. And the Twitter account hasn't updated since last year. So
yeah, I'm sure it'll be coming. I mean, we've just had Build, of course, haven't we? Which you did the recap on, of course, didn't you, Elaiza? And as you just said, and I was fortunate enough to do a little something at Build as well with an MVP in Australia, actually, in Melbourne. Megan Strand.
Oh yeah, Megan's awesome.
She
Megan and her
is
husband
I love
Lauren.
that name.
Laura. Yeah, she is so awesome, as is Lorian. And we did a talk on autism, specifically in
Oh,
anxiety
yeah,
and
that's right.
mental health, and
That's right.
because we have that in common in our families. So
Yeah.
and the wonderful Ali Thompson, who's the MVP community lead for Office Apps and Services, I'm
Mhm.
sure you both know, is
Yes.
she sort of put us together to introduce us to do that talk together, and it was absolutely awesome. Loved doing it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I like Ali Thompson. I think we
She's
started.
cool.
Yeah, we've never met like officially, but I think it
Mm.
might have been through. Was it Ignite last year when they had like the Amplifying Black Voices session and a few
That's
others,
right.
and like the
Humans of
yeah.
IT.
Yes. Humans of IT is how we got kind of at least connected through the internet, and thought that was really
There
neat
was
how
a
Microsoft was doing stuff with
ton
that
of stuff on
space.
Humans of IT last year, amplifying Black Voices. It was a really great series.
Yeah, I really loved it. And I thought that was great.
Yeah.
So great job, Ali Thompson. If you're listening, if you're not, like, kudos to you. You do wonderful work. Thank
Previous
you
guest
so
on the show as
much.
well. Ali's been on the show with Kat and myself last year sometime. So
Okay, I'll have to go watch that.
go check that one out. And another really cool person at Microsoft. Big shout out, and another former guest is Laurie Popmeyer as well from Teams.
I don't think I know that name. I feel like I know less people in the team space and the IT security space. More friends, come at us.
Yeah. Oh, there's so many good people. So many good people. Of course, Holly Lehman.
Holly,
Yeah.
I did a session with her for Azure Community Day. I think back in 2020.
Yeah. And she works more on the team side herself now. She's in the same team as Stephen Rose, who's the Inside Microsoft Teams podcast, and very good pal of mine. He's a very good friend. But we do our music podcast together. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I feel like Twitter hasn't showed me some people that I know in a very long time. I wonder if it's an algorithm thing, because I'm looking at. It
probably is. It does that sometimes, doesn't it?
Yeah, because I'm looking at Holly, because I was like, oh, now that you say it, I haven't seen anything from Holly recently. And she's been tweeting and retweeting. So it's Twitter just trying to keep us all.
It must be, stupid algorithm stuff, isn't it?
Stupid algorithms.
Yeah.
Algorithms. Well, that's from, have you seen Disney's Soul? The movie Soul?
No, I haven't. I haven't seen that.
See it. I need to catch
watch
that.
It. Yes, you need to, because there is someone named Algorithm who's supposed to be algorithm. So.
Oh, I need to catch that.
I did not come up with that myself.
I'm not either into it. Yeah.
Well, we're over an hour. Like, I feel like every time we do this and we go over, time, it's just, we could talk forever. It feels like I know you two have just met each other in the space, and feels like we're just in company of really good friends.
I know. Yes. Totally. We've had so much good stuff to talk about, and I'm sure we'll do it again. And I've enjoyed all the conversations about vegetarianism and vegan, good food, and everything we've talked about. It's been absolutely fantastic to meet you, Elaiza, and thank you so much for your time.
Yeah. And both of you are welcome here. And like I said, Peter, if you ever come, I will cook up a feast for you.
Oh, amazing!
I am ready.
Ready.
Don't you have like a newer bathroom too, or something, Elaiza?
Oh yeah.
I'm coming from that. I'm coming for that bathroom too. I want to be in that tub.
Okay, come on over.
And you're both always welcome in the UK as well. Anytime you venture to our little island, goes without saying.
Yep, I'm steadily like making a list of places to visit. So
definitely.
Just feed me, and that's my would require. Just feed me. I'll sleep on the floor. I don't care. Just give me some good food.
So before we wind up anyway, Elaiza, do you have any final things that you might want to say or promote, or let people know how they can reach you if they want to get in touch?
Well, you can find me on Twitter. I'm also on LinkedIn, and as Azure said, I do have a YouTube channel as well. In terms of anything I want to promote, I guess it's just continue to be kind and love one each other, and just be you and have fun.
Love it.
Love it.
That's all I
Great
can
advice.
say.
Love it. Be kind. So
Okay.
important, and there's no better words to end on than that. So thank you so much. And
Oh no, thank you both. Thank you both for having me.
an absolute pleasure. So lovely to meet you. But there we go. Another episode of Cloud Conversations for you. Thank you so much for following us, for watching the show, and we'll be back again very, very soon. Check us out on YouTube, on Twitter. You know the drill by now. I get so tired of reading it all out. Go find you
know where to find us.
You know where to find us.
We're in the internet.
But Azure, wonderful to be co-hosting with you as always, and let's close this one off. Let's put this one to bed. And I'm literally going to bed now.
You need to go to bed.
It's what is it? It's like
your bedtime.
It's 11 as we record this. It's 11:15 p.m. on a. Is it Saturday? I guess it's a Saturday as we record this, and it's morning for you, Elaiza, and it's must be late
It's
afternoon
Sunday.
for you, Azure.
Yeah, Sunday for me. So bedtime for you, breakfast for you, and some
Taco Bay for you.
There you go. And this is the power of technology, making the world smaller, bringing us all together. But okay, fantastic. Well, thank you both. Take care all, and we'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.